The following is a special presentation of Big Polly's World of Sports Sims, alternating the reality of sports and entertainment since 2020. And welcome once again to the Hometown Football League. This is game number 2 of week number 5. The 5 televised games we do each and every week. This is Big Polly coming to you. Tuesday, February 1st, 2020. A very big sporting piece of news came down this morning. Tom Brady announcing his retirement. But we go to where Tom Brady hasn't retired and he plays with the legends here in the Hometown Football League. He is on the Tampa Bay franchise. And they will be playing Jacksonville. That's not a televised game, so we'll tell you all about it on Friday. Today it's Chicago and Cleveland. In Cleveland, a 55-degree day at Cleveland Browns Stadium in Ohio. I'll be playing as the Cleveland Browns. The computer will be controlling Chicago. I don't think we have had either team yet this year, so this will be fun. Try to pick the best games and bring them to you. And off we go. It's going to be Sid Luckman, and Otto Graham. Talk about a couple of old timers. They'll be playing against each other. Walter Payton against Jim Brown. Payton's had the best year so far, 86 carries for 394. And Otto doesn't like to throw much, but when he does, he's good. He's 86.7. But Luckman has been lighting up the league with his 106.8 rating. Coin toss will go Cleveland against Cleveland. Chicago won the toss, elected to defer, so Cleveland gets the ball. Wind will be in Cleveland's favor for quarters 1 and 4, 0 to 10 mile an hour. Eric Metcalf, back deep with Peppers and Mitchell, and off we go with game number 2 of week number 5, our 22nd of 90 regular season games, and it was Metcalf taking that 29 yards to the 32. So here's your starting lineup for a Cleveland offense. It's going to be Brown and Marion Motley in the backfield. Brown's a 4 receiver, Motley a 2. Max Speedy and Mitchell. Mitchell is an 8 receiver, Mac is a 4. And Mitchell will be up here on the top of your screen. Kellen Winslow Jr. is the tight end. He is an 8. And your offensive line, Thomas, Hickerson, Mack, Batonio, and Shafraff. And Thomas and Hickerson are each 10s. So look for Cleveland to go to the left side of the line. In fact, we'll put the tight end over there. And we'll go trap left. And none other than Jim Brown. Another all-time great in the National Football League. He gains 4 yards on the first play from scrimmage. Speaking of Tom Brady, and you got to wonder where Tom Brady's going to rank all time amongst the best players of all time now that he is retired. And a lot of people thought that he wasn't going to retire when the first news came Saturday. And I haven't even gotten to the Chicago defense yet, and it's a good one. Let's get to that first. Atkins, Dent, McMichael, and Chambers, your front 4. Fortunato, Urlacher, and Marshall are your linebackers. Urlacher is a 10 plus. Night Train Lane, because he played for the Chicago Cardinals, and the Chicago team is a combination of the Bears and Chicago Cardinals, so that's why Night Train Lane is over here in the Windy City. Tillman is the other quarterback, so that's a 10 and an 8 defender. Carrier is a 9, that's the other Mark Carrier, and Gary Fensick is a 9. And we'll give it to Marion Motley, who was a big name before Jim Brown in the AAFC and I think later in the NFL. He gains 5 yards. It's 3rd and a yard. And you got to wonder where Brady will rank all time amongst the greatest NFL players. Got to be top 5 at the very least. Here's Brown. He just get the first. He did get the first down barely. Richard Dent making the tackle for Chicago. And we are going to set up like we're going to run, but we're going to go play action to Bobby Mitchell. Chicago playing a 4-3, so this may or may not work. It's caught by Mitchell, past the 40 to the 35 before Night Train Lane could get to him. Tackle by Lane, gain of 23, not the Night Train Lane, who is a local personality here in the Tampa Bay radio market, who now works for 620 WSUN, the sports animal. Trap right, Jim Brown again, 1st and 10. And Brown this time held up by Dent for just a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9, ball at the 34. Other NFL news today, Brian Flores, who used to be the coach of the Miami Dolphins, is suing the league for racial discrimination. A gain of 10. That was Graham to Winslow. Graham did not throw the ball often, but when he did, he was very, very effective when he played on all those championship teams on the Browns in the 1950s. Of course, we're all waiting for Super Bowl 56 between the Bengals and the Rams. And Brown with a burst of speed, he gains 12. Cuts the distance to the goal line in half from the 24 to the 12. And it's 1st and 10. Brown, 4 carries for 18 yards. I had some chili before the game started, so I hope it doesn't come up on me in the form of burps. Here's Brown on a single tight end formation, and he makes a house call. Touchdown, Cleveland. Very impressive drive to start the game for Cleveland. 8 plays, 68 yards, taking 5:24 off the clock. And your point after attempt good by Ludito Groza. It is 7-0 in favor of Cleveland. For Chicago, you got Sayers, Seno, and Manning back deep. And it's a touchback. For Chicago, here's their offensive lineup. Luckman wears 42. He is the quarterback. Payton and Kelliger. Kelliger is a 1 receiver. Payton is a 5. Harlan Hill, Jeff Graham, and Mike Ditka are your wide receivers and tight end. Luckman the quarterback. Let's profile Luckman real quick. He's out of Columbia University, and if you don't know where Columbia University is, it's in Manhattan, New York City. Your line is Connor, Fortunato, Turner, Bulldog Turner, Ramsey, and Covert. Turner is the only 10 on the offensive line. And we'll give you the Cleveland defense in just a moment. First, the first down. Luckman, he finds Mike Ditka. Iron Mike out of Pittsburgh, gains 22 yards. Played for the University of Pittsburgh. For Cleveland, it's Ford, Burnett, Rimkus, and Shirk, your front 4. Banks, Johnson, and Clay Matthews are your linebackers. Dixon, Minifield, Darden, and James are your defensive backs. No 10s in the Cleveland defense. 1st and 10 at the 42. It's Luckman. He will run. He will gain 2 yards before Dixon makes the tackle for the Browns. And it is 2nd and 8 at the 44. 8:37 left in the first quarter. And Luckman tried to throw for Jeff Graham, and that was incomplete, overthrew him. And that's going to set up 3rd and 8 at the 44. See if the Bears could keep their drive going. And they can. Ditka in the flat, tackled by Paul, and that's a gain of 11. Don Paul was the tackler. 1st and 10 at the 45 of Cleveland now for Chicago. To give us the sweetness, Walter Payton, one of the all-time greats. A 7-yard gain. Second and 3 at the 38. And with Brady retiring today, I'm sure that's going to shuffle up the all-time team that many fans like to keep. Second and 8 at the 33. I'd put him in a quarterback on that team.
False start. Offense, number 20, 5-yard penalty.
They get Ramsey for a false start. That is Buster Ramsey. He's out of William and Mary. He could also play the defensive line. Two-way play back before, I would say, the merger of the NFL and the AAFC was very common. Second and 8 at the 43, and it would continue into the 50s, and Chuck Bednarik would be the last two-way player of note. Luckman gains 3, and Darden tackles him, so it's 3rd and 5 for the Browns. I had it right the first time. It was the Bears. 6:23 left. Peyton with the catch, and he gains 17 yards. Banks on the tackle. When Brady won his first Super Bowl, they were still using the carpet, the artificial turf, and it was called by Pat Summerall and John Madden. God bless both of those men, and may they rest in peace. And that's to Ditka, and Ditka with a very impressive drive, 3 catches for 56 yards. And Chicago is a point away from evening it up. And the kick good by Harder, and we are tied 7-7 with 4:51 now left in the opening stanza. Metcalf again back deep for Cleveland. He will take it, and he will down it. A touchback. And in the HTFL, we do things the old school way. When there is a touchback, it goes to the 20. We kick extra points from the same place, the 3-yard line. That's the line of scrimmage for extra points, regardless of whether or not a team is going for 2 or for 1. Each team gets 1 challenge, but all turnovers and scores are looked at by the booth. Some of the rules we have here. We go to overtime, it's sudden death. It's none of this,
The
you
previous
score
play is under review.
You score on offense the first time the game's over, but if you kick a field goal,
Upon
it's not.
further review, the runner was down by contact.
A fumble, and Chicago appeared to have recovered it, but on replay it went back to Cleveland. So it's 2nd and 9 at the 21. We'll go 3 wide. That'll bring Paul Warfield into the game as a 3rd wide receiver. They'll go to him. And it's caught by Warfield at the 40 to the 42. A pickup of 21 yards. McRae making the stop. He comes in as an extra defensive back out of Michigan. It's 1st and 10 at the 42. I think I mentioned that already. Motley trapped to the right side. And he gets stood up by Marshall, a 1-yard loss. That's Wilbur Marshall out of the University of Florida, where it's great to be a Florida Gator. 2nd and 11. We'll go Mitchell, medium hitch, and Cleveland again in a 3-wide set. Incomplete. That was overthrown. Nitre Lane providing a tip there. And it's 3rd and 11. We'll bring Jim Benton in, and this will be a 4-wide set on 3rd and 11. It's caught by Benton. He also wears 49. And a gain of 20. Tillman on the stop for Chicago. Trapped to the right with Jim Brown on 1st and 10. Tight end on the right side. Gain of 7 before Wally Chambers gets to him. Wally would go on and play for the Buccaneers back in an era when they and the Bears were divisional rivals. Sweep right with Brown. As the computer alerts me I'm running too many traps. And Brown with a 1st down. A pickup of 4 yards. He is at 8 carries and 42 yards on the day so far. We'll go play action medium pass to Max Speedy. Medium fly route. Graham will run, and he's not a bad runner. Gain of 3. Urlacher on the stop. That will do it. For quarter number 1, we are dead even at 7 apiece. Chicago, 8 plays, 85 yards. Cleveland, 16 plays, 123 yards. And we pick the action up with 2nd and 7. Both teams have changed ends, although the game doesn't show that. Pitch to the right with Jim Brown, 2nd and 7. This will be his 9th carry of the game already. Back to the line, and that's it. A tackle by Richard Dent. 3rd and 7. Back to Warfield, medium crossing route. It's there, and it's a touchdown, Cleveland. Paul Warfield makes it a 13-7 game, Cleveland's way. And here's your extra point. It's good. That was a 10-play, 80-yard drive. Otto Graham is now 5 for 6 and 99 yards. 14:05 left until halftime. And Cleveland will kick to the always dangerous Gale Sayers. Takes it just in front of his goal line. Moves up past the 30. A nice return for him. 32 yards. So it's 1st and 10 at the 33. Luckman has started 4 for 5, 73 yards and a touchdown. And it's 1st and 10 for Sid. The throw. It's a catch by Ditka. 21 yards. Darden on the tackle. Of course, Luckman played back in the era, as I was pointing out earlier, where you might be a quarterback, yes, but you probably had to play on defense and you probably had to punt or play special teams. 1st and 10 at the 46. You see that in the high school game a lot these days. Still, that was a give to Payton and Ford making the tackle. Let's profile Mr. Ford. Len Ford also can double as a tight end wide receiver. Another one of these two-way players. He's out of Michigan. Hail to the victors. 2nd and 10 at the Cleveland 46. And Cleveland calling timeout. Some confusion on the defense. They have 2 timeouts left, each team with a challenge left. Chicago has all 3 of their timeouts yet. Pitch to Payton. And Payton will be close to the first down. In fact, he has it. Minifield on the tackle, so Payton got into the secondary, and it's 1st and 10 at the 36. 12:15 now left in the half. 14-7. Cleveland leading, perhaps not for long. The give to Payton. No gain. Roger Connor providing blocking. He would eventually be an analyst in the early days of professional football on CBS. Would always call games with Red Grange, and usually Bear games. Johnson on the stop, and that is Walter Johnson, I believe. No, Mike Johnson, 59. He's out of Virginia Tech. The Hokies. 2nd and 10 at the 36. The give is to Payton. 2-yard game. Renkas on the stop. I wonder if that's a Greek name. You see him there. He's at a cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. 3rd and 8 at the 34. 10:56 left in the half. And that is a touchdown to Hill. And we have a 1 point away of a tie game again. In fact, neither team has punted yet. I don't think. Harder with the point after, and it's 14 apiece. 10:07 left until the half. That drive, by the way, took, let me see here, 6 plays, 67 yards, and only took 3:46. In fact, let me just check and see if we have had a punt yet. We have not. We have not had a punt yet in the game. Both teams have scored on their first 2 possessions. So hope the people at MIT are standing by with their slide rules. We may need them. Metcalf, another touchback. Robbie Gould kicking that far and deep. Of course, Gould was on the 49ers this past season. 49ers so close to making the Super Bowl again this year, losing to the Rams, 20-17. A trap with Jim Brown on 1st and 10. And look for a holding call here, I would think.
Offsides.
Nope.
Defense. Number 81, 5-yard penalty.
And that was a first down, so that's going to stand. Brown now on the day, 10 plays for 53 yards. 1st and 10 at the 31. I thought he might have had more. Slant, Paul Warfield over the middle. is the intent. Instead, it's a throw to Max Speedy, who gains 7 yards. Tillman on the stop. And we're going to sweep it right with Brown on 2nd and 3. And Brown past the 45 to the 47 before Mark Carrier. That is the Mark Carrier who played defensive back for the Bears and not the wide receiver for the Bucks. Brings him down. It's a gain of 9. 1st and 10 at the 47. Back to Brown as it's going to be a pitch to the right side. That's a gain of 3. Wilbur Marshall on the stop for Chicago. We'll go with Max Speedy on a medium out on 2nd and 7 from midfield. That is not caught. That was over the head of Speedy. And it's going to be 3rd and 7. They'll go to Warfield on the short crossing route. Incomplete. 4th and 7. And we'll see our first punt of the game. Gary Collins will be punting into a breeze, so this should stay in the field of play. It does. McAfee takes it to the 13. It's a 2-yard return to the 15. It's 1st and 10 from there. So we have had our first punt of the game, but it took us a quarter and a half to get there. It's 14 all. Any score gives Chicago the lead. It's Luckman to Graham, a gain of 8. Luckman has started 7 out of 8. 2 touchdowns. 2nd and 2 at the 23. They give it to Peyton. Peyton will have first down yardage. A gain of 5. Jerry Shirk didn't shirk his duty. He made the tackle. It's 1st and 10 at the 28 now with 6:28 left to go till halftime. Peyton gets loose. That's a gain of 16. Ran for 117 against Arizona, and he's off to a good start today. 7 carries and 40 yards. 1st and 10 at the 44 of Chicago. 5:45 now left until halftime. And but Peyton loose again. Johnson on the stop, a gain of 17 big yards. So on his 8th carry, he's now at 57 yards for today. That is Walter Payton out of Jackson State. 1st and 10 at the 39. It's Luckman thought he had Hill over the middle, but Minifield was all over him. Fortman is now been injured. And I believe that is Jimbo Covert coming in for him, number 74. Was one of the football players who appeared in the Battle Royal in Chicago at WrestleMania 2 in 1986. 2nd and 10 at the 39. Luckman, a gain of 4. James on the stop for Cleveland. 3rd and 8. Ball at the 35. So Chicago needs 6 yards to keep this play alive. Luckman will only get one of them. 4th and 5 at the 34. So this will be a 51-yard field goal. Right down the middle. Chicago takes the lead. That is Gould with that kick. Turner was the long snapper. And it's 17-14 in favor of Chicago. 2:46 now. Left until the half. Metcalf, another touchback for him. 1st and 10 at the 20. Speedy over the middle. 1st and 10. Deflected by Tillman and incomplete. 2:38 left until the half. A pitch to Jim Brown on 2nd and 10. And Brown will get close to the first down. In fact, he does get it. And that's a season high for Brown, 75 yards rushing. We'll go to the 2-minute warning with the score 17-14 Chicago. Cleveland with 2 timeouts. Chicago still with all of their 3. Medium fly to Speedy on 1st and 10. That's an incompletion. Incomplete. A little overthrown. 2nd and 10, we're going to go to Brown. We'll slant it to Warfield. One of the great receivers of all time. That is incomplete. He could not hold on. He juggled it. Third and 10, a minute 48 to go. Fly to Warfield on third down. That is incomplete. So Graham had a good start going, but now he's 6 for 13. Gary Collins, not the actor, will come on to punt. I remember when he hosted a show called Our Magazine. It was like kind of a talk show, kind of, fluffy. First and 10 at the 28. He also was in the one of the science fiction movies I got to see at the movie theaters, Hangar 18. Darren McGavin, who was the father in A Christmas Story, was in that. Good movie. First and 10 at the 28. Hard to find. 3-yard gain for Peyton. And will Chicago call time? They do. They have 2 left. Minute 32, second and 7 at the 31. No gain. Trying to think of the name of the actor who was like Collins's fellow astronaut in Hangar 18, and he appears in a lot of stuff. He appeared. I'll know the answer when I when I go offline, and he was in Rockford. He was in an episode of Rockford Files. Ironwood School of Success. James Hampton, I think it is. That's who it is. Gain of 22. He was the father in Teen Wolf. Luckman the Grand for 22 yards. First and 10 at the Cleveland 47. Chicago looking for more before the half. 1:16 to go. Luckman incomplete. Pretty sure it's James Hampton. Second and 10 at the 47. With a minute 11 to go. That's a catch. Gain of 18. I think Hampton was in a few movies with Burt Reynolds, if my memory serves. First and 10 at the 29. A minute 2 to go. Luckman staying in that pocket, looking for Hill, and incompletion. Second and 10. Ball at the 29-yard line. 56 seconds to go. That's a completion to Jeff Graham, a gain of 16. First and 10 at the 13. I think Hampton also did a few commercials. Yeah, Hampton was caretaker in the original Longest Yard in 1974, I want to say. And the Chicago call a timeout. No, they're going to keep the clock running, and they're going to kick a field goal. Gould. This will be a chip shot, and it's good. 23 yards out. 20-14. Cleveland trailing by 6, and they have 9 seconds left. And this is a squib kick taken by Mitchell. Gains 7 yards, and that'll do it for the first half. It's 20-14 in favor of Chicago. I am going now. See, this has my curiosity going, so I'm going to look up James Hampton on Wikipedia. Hope you're enjoying the video, and if you are, like it and subscribe to it. Yeah, this fellow right here, James Hampton, is who I was thinking of. Okay. And he died last year. He was just about 85 when he passed. April 9, 2021. So Sayers, Sano, and Manning back deep. Hope you're enjoying the video. Hit that like button. Hit that bell. Make this channel grow. The Big Polly's World of Sports Sims channel, where we talk about arcane things while we do the games. Sayers, Sano, Manning back deep. Chicago ran 29 plays for 269 yards. Cleveland has not done too badly. 29 plays for 188. So on plays, it's dead even. And this is taken by Sano. Sano past the 30 to the 33, a 28-yard gain. First and 10 at the 33. Luckman is 11 for 15. He's been dead-eye so far. 199 yards and 2 touchdowns. First and 10 at the 33. That's complete to Jimmy Graham. James coming off. His return doubtful, so they'll put in a new free safety for Cleveland. It is Cliff Lewis out of Duke. It's on those AAFC Browns teams. First and 10 at the 44. The Browns won 4 straight AFC titles in that short league, and nobody else won any. 2nd and 6 at the 48 of Chicago. Luckman will run. He'll gain a yard, setting up 3rd and 5. Ball at the 49. It was an 8-team league most of its existence. Brown, 25
Illegal
yards.
chop block. Offense.
But
Number
it's coming
89,
back.
15-yard penalty.
Ditka with the chop block, and it's going to be 3rd and 20. Wiping out a 25-yard gain there for Peyton. Ball to 34. Luckman will go deep, but it was batted at the line. Looked like it was batted by the line by somebody, but it just fell incomplete. Chicago punting. I believe it's the first time they have had to punt. I'm going to return it. It's going to land inside the 20. And punt return by Metcalf goes 17 yards to the 37 of Cleveland. 12:44 left in quarter number 3. Ball to 37. And it's going to be 1st and 10. We're going to go put the tight end over. We're going to go off tackle left on 1st and 10. Brown picking up a yard. Urlacher making the stop. I think Urlacher at one time was dating Paris Hilton, if I'm not mistaken. 2nd and 9. Ball at the 38. It's going to be a slant to Bobby Mitchell on 2nd down and 9. And your throw is to Brown. He gains 10. Graham did not have a great game against Kansas City, 15 of 33 for 225. Today, he's 7 for 14 for 110, and that was Brown's first catch of the day for 10 yards. 1st and 10. We're gonna go to Marion Motley off tackle left side, and Motley back to the line at best. It's a loss of a yard, and again Urlacher making the tackle. So now a 2nd and 11. Pitch to Jimmy Brown. And Brown will gain a few yards. 5, before Gary Fensick could get to him. And that makes it 3rd and 6. The ball at the Chicago 48. We'll go Winslow, medium cross. That's a catch and a 1st down. Gain of 20. Mark Carrier on the tackle. Thing about Otto Graham is when he completes a pass, it's usually for big yardage. Ball at the 28. 1st and 10. Brown. Dive play. Just going to run it up the middle. That's a gain of 4 yards. Fensick making the stop for the Bears. The Bears. A 2nd and 6. Back to Winslow on a short crossing route. Kellen Winslow Jr. gains 13. That's his 3rd catch of the day for 43 yards. And Graham now back over 500 passing, 9 for 16, 149. Trap left, Jim Brown, 1st and 10. And Brown to the 10 to the 4. Urlacher on the tackle, so Cleveland inching closer. Score a touchdown, or as they say in the CFL, a major score would give them the lead if they convert the extra point. Brown. Touchdown, Cleveland. And we're dead even at the moment at 20-20. Jim Brown out of Syracuse. Your point after. Good by Groza, and it's 21-20. Sayers, Sano, and Manning back deep. 6:28 now left in the 3rd quarter. We have a real good game going here. And it's Sayers, a nice return for him, 28 yards to the 34. To finish my thought about the CFL, they're thinking about going to Americanize the one of the major rules in the CFL that's different from the NFL, from American football. Let's run this play, and I'll finish that thought. Luckman going deep for Hill, incomplete. Minifield providing good coverage. What the CFL is talking about doing is getting rid of the need for 3 downs to get 10 yards, and they want to go to what American football doesn't use, 4 downs to get 10 yards. 2nd and 10 at the 34. And Peyton slashing on the right side, gaining 8 before Dixon could get to him. 3rd and 2 at the 42, and the Canadian football fans are upset about it, Americanizing their brand of football. 3rd and 2 at the 42, but you see a lot of punts in the CFL because every 3 plays you gotta try to get 10 yards. Luckman, a yard short of the first, he needed 2, he got 1. So Chicago again punting, and momentum seems to be shifting to the way of the Cleveland Browns and the dog pound. That was Metcalf with a fair catch at the 14-yard line. So it's 1st and 10. If you go on YouTube, you can see almost every Grey Cup final there is, or at least many of the ones prior to, say, the 20 teens. And a lot of the Grey Cup games are very interesting with the rules that they use. Jim Brown trapped left on 1st and 10, and many of the games were a lot better than the Super Bowls here in America. 17 more yards for Jim Brown on that. Night Train Lane making a tackle, and Brown has his first 100-yard game of the year. He's up to 113, and we're not even out of the third quarter yet. Motley on a dive, 1st and 10. He gains 4 yards. McMichael on the stop. And it's going to be 2nd and 6 now. We're going to sweep left with Jim Brown, give him the ball again. It's not heavy. Brown with a first down, another 11 yards. He's at 124 on the day now. It's going to be a 1st and 10 now at the Cleveland 46. Not to get too predictable, we're going to go cross to Max Speedy. Incomplete, medium crossing play. Dent, a groin injury, but he's going to stay in the game.
Offense, number 14, 10-yard penalty.
And they're going to rule Otto Graham intentionally grounded that pass, so it's a 10-yard penalty, a loss of down. And we're going to trap left with Jim Brown, just try to get the yardage down for 3rd down. He only gains 4, boosting him up to 128 on his 21st carry. 3rd and 16. Usually you would go long here, but with Graham, you could pretty much run a medium pass on 3rd and 16. And that's Warfield. Dived for the catch and got it. Gain of 20 when they needed 16. So nice work for Cleveland. 1:02 left now. In the third, we're going to trap left with Jim Brown, 1st and 10. And Brown this time tackled by Atkins. That is Doug Atkins out of Tennessee. It's going to be 2nd and 10 at the 40, but that'll do it for quarter number 3. Your score right now, Cleveland 21 and Chicago 20. Cleveland's going to go double tight on 2nd and 10. We're going to go trap right, Jim Brown. And why wouldn't you want to keep going to Jim Brown with his numbers? Another 11, punishing that Cleveland defense, and he's now up to 139 yards. Off tackle left to number 32, and that's another gain of 6. So he's at 145 on the day now. 2nd and 4, Motley on a dive as Cleveland shifts to the 2 running back, 1 tight end formation. And look at Motley. He's telling Jim Brown, hey, I could do it too. 16-yard gain. Fortunato on the tackle for Cleveland. Back to the double tight end set on 1st and goal. We're going to go right back to Motley. Number 76, he gains 2. Could also play linebacker because he played in the on the AAFC Cleveland Browns, and that was still an era where many players played both ways, if not all. 2nd and goal at the 5. And we are going to go Jimmy Brown on a pitch. Does he have another score? No gain. It's going to be 3rd and goal at the 5. And we'll look to Ozzie Newsome on a short cross. That's incomplete. Graham had to throw that away. So on comes Matt Barr. Barr handles the field goal kicking. Groza handles the extra point duties, and this will be a 22-yard try. He got it. It's 24-20 with 11:04 left in regulation. Sayers, Sano, Manning back deep. It's a touchback. And Peyton under center in the shotgun formation, so we'll look for him to run. And he does, and Cleveland was ready for it. They had picked up a fumble.
The previous play is under review.
And we are reviewing the play.
Upon further review, the runner was down by contact.
And I believe that's the second time that has happened in this game. So they will mark Peyton for a 1-yard gain. Peyton, if I can refresh my stats here, is 12 carries for 73 yards, 1 catch for 17. Peyton was also known as a good pass catcher out of the backfield. 2nd and 9, ball at the 21. He could also throw the ball. And was very effective on halfback option passes.
Holding offense. Number 71, 10-yard penalty.
Was mentioning Roger Connor earlier. He got called for the hold. 2nd and 19 at the 11. 10:45 left to go. That's a catch, and that is a first down, 32 yards. Graham caught that from Luckman, and Luckman is now 13 and 19, but when he is completing passes, he's making them count. He's got 242 yards on the day. 1st and 10 at the 43. That's to Peyton. Peyton with a 14-yard catch. I was just talking about his pass catching ability, and right on cue, he delivers that. 1st and 10 at the 43 of Cleveland. 9:46 left. And that is Peyton gaining 4. Hanford Dixon has made his 10th tackle of the day. 2nd and 6 with the ball at the 39 and 9 minutes now left. Peyton the first down. He picks up 9. Minifield on the tackle for the Browns. 1st and 10 at the 30 in this Northern Division battle here in the HTFL. Incomplete is Luckman looking for Graham. By the way, Cleveland could also use the Cleveland Rams. The LA Rams played in Cleveland before they moved out to Los Angeles, 1945 and before. So Cleveland might have a few Cleveland Rams on the team. 1st and 10 at the 30. I was talking about Chicago using Cardinals. Pre-1960 Chicago Cardinals. Another catch for Graham. He's at 113. Gain of 17. Dixon on the stop. And Luckman has now 15 to 22 for 273. 7:25 left. 8th play of this drive for Chicago. It's a throw, it's a catch to Ditka, and Ditka has scored. Touchdown, Chicago. They take the lead, 26-24 with 6:37 to go. Extra point try is good by Harder. Harder handles the extra points and the kickoffs, and Gould handles the field goals for the Bears. 27-24, Chicago leading, but plenty of time for Cleveland to get back in it. This will be a touchback. Metcalf getting used to taking a knee in the end zone, way Harder has been kicking it. 1st and 10, ball to 20. And the Browns don't have to hurry. Off tackle right, Jim Brown on 1st and 10. He is stood up behind the line. Wilbur Marshall on the stop. 2nd and 11 at the 19. We'll go standing on the corner and go to Kellen Winslow, who's not in Arizona. Medium crossing route. It's fumbled. Chicago's got it.
Under review.
Pending the review.
Upon further review, the runner was down by contact.
And again, the officials see something that wasn't there. Ground can't cause a fumble. The gain was to the 43. 24 yards for Winslow. And it's 1st down and 10. We're going to screen to Jim Brown. Chicago on their heels. That's another 1st down, another pickup of 10. Second reception of the day for Brown. He's at 20 yards pass catching. And we're going to trap it right with Brown. First and 10 now at the Chicago 47. That's a gain of 2. Chambers on the stop. Second and 8. We'll go Max Speedy, short out. Caught by Speedy. Zigzags his way for a 13-yard gain to the 32. And that makes it now a first and 10 at the 32. Motley will get this carry, trap left. And he will gain 3 yards before Mongo McMichael making the tackle. Of course, in real life, McMichael having some health issues. I think he has ALS. He wrestled professionally for WCW for a few years after his playing days ended. Second and 7 at the 29. Trap right, Jim Brown. And Brown picking up 2. 3:21 to go. It's third and 5. We'll go Warfield on a medium hitch. A little over a 50-50 chance this results in a touchdown, but he dropped it. And Warfield with his second drop of the day. Now, 2:35 left. And this is going to leave Cleveland in a bad spot because Barr has a 75% chance of hitting the field goal, but you give Chicago plenty of time. 45-yard kick is good, and we're dead even at 27 apiece. 2:31 left to go. We'll kick at an angle, try to avoid a long run here for Sayers. It's Manning taking it. He takes it 19 yards to the 30. So any score gives the Bears the lead. 2:23 left. First and 10 at the 30. Chicago has run now 44 plays for 384 yards. Cleveland 59 plays for 395. So it's been a decent game. Luckman will give to Peyton. Peyton gets a first down, a pickup of 11. And that should take us to the 2-minute warning. And it does. Each team with 3 timeouts left and their challenges left. Though neither team is probably going to use a challenge here. And it's going to be first and 10 at the Chicago zone 41. Luckman going to throw. Complete to Jeff Graham. His 8th catch of the day, 135 yards. And Luckman goes over 300 on his 24th throw. First and 10 at the 37. And Chicago using a timeout. They have 2 left. The throw, looking for Harlan Hill. He dropped that one, his second drop of the day. And it's going to be now a second and 10 at the Browns 37. So Chicago practically in field goal range. That's a catch by Ditka. And now Chicago in field goal range for sure. Chicago now has 2 receivers who have gone over 100 yards. Ditka at 111 on his 6th catch. And Chicago in good shape to win this game. A first and 10 at the 16. The question is, will Cleveland have any time? Well, they'll have a little bit of time as Hill catches that and goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. 5 plays, 70 yards, only taking a minute and 1 second off the clock. Luckman, it's kind of like the Kansas City-Buffalo game of a couple of weeks ago in the playoffs, where each team trying to beat the clock but leaving plenty of time for their adversaries. Harder with the point after. It's now 34-27, and we have a minute 22 left in this one. Cleveland will have to rush down the field and try to score. Metcalf, now he's a good returner, and he's past midfield. He goes all the way down to the 32, a pickup of 66 yards, and now Cleveland is in business. Speak of the devil, I bring up that Bills-Chiefs game of a couple of weeks ago, and sure enough, we have that kind of scenario playing out. Well, I'm going to go for it here. I'm going to go for the bundle. I'm going to long hitch it to Warfield. 1:16 to go. And Warfield overthrown. And we thought there was going to be a penalty called. There was not. And Brown will get it on a screen pass as Ellie tries to play with me here. Ella. And Brown, 9 yards. Cleveland will immediately call timeout. It's going to be a third and a yard. at the 23 with 57 seconds to go. We'll go double tight because we can always call another timeout. Instead of going to Brown, we're going to go to Motley. Marion Motley. And Motley gaining 5. It's going to be a first down. Timeout is called with 47 seconds left to go. So an exciting game from start to finish. We hope you've enjoyed it here on the HTFL. One good thing about how I play, it only takes about an hour to play these games. So we'll go back to, I don't want to go back to Brown. I want to go Kellen Winslow here. Medium crossing route on 1st and 10 from the 18. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. Slant to Speedy. Incomplete. 3rd and 10. Cleveland's got to get a first down. We're going to pitch it right to Jim Brown. Just try to trim the yardage down for 4th down. He gets out of bounds, gains 8, and Brown at 155 yards. But this is it. 4th and 2, the ball at the 10. Cleveland can get a first down, of course, without scoring. Hitch to Speedy. And they'll have to hope for the best here. It's Mitchell. Touchdown. Cleveland a point away from tying the game with 18 seconds to go. All they need is an extra point from Lou to Groza. They get it. And we're dead even at 34 all with 18 seconds left to play. And unlike the Buffalo Bills a couple of weeks ago, I'm not going to make the same mistake they did. I'm going to squib it. And it's taken by Manning. Manning is going to get to midfield almost. 3 seconds left. Unlike the Chiefs in that game that had 13 seconds left and still managed to kick a field goal. I play 3-1 prevent deep zone. The only thing that can really harm us is if Luckman throws one deep. And he doesn't throw one deep. We're going to go to overtime. The HTFL rules are very simple. The first team that scores wins. Chicago won the toss. Any score Chicago gets could win the game. We don't do this business about, well, if you score a field goal, the game keeps going. And if you score a touchdown, I wish they would change the rule and make it so each team has a possession. But absent that, I think sudden death's the best rule. Sayers back deep. Takes it from the goal line. Cleveland's got to play good defense. And look at Sayers. Ball game. Touchdown for Gale Sayers. He returned the kickoff all the way for a score. And no matter the rules you play by, that would end the game. Chicago doing what they did on Thanksgiving Day in 1980 against Detroit. Taking the kickoff all the way back. That went 101 yards. And I'm sure that is the quickest overtime in HTFL history. 9 seconds is all it took. And Chicago wins in overtime 40-34. Sid Luckman was the MVP. I think you should give it to Gale Sayers on that kick return, personally. A great game, lots of offense, 881 yards of total offense. Each team was perfect in the red zone, each team kicking a field goal. Cleveland held the ball 35-13. They ran 66 plays to Chicago's 50, but it's Chicago coming away with victory on that Gale Sayers kick return. Maybe I should have just kicked it at an angle and not let Sayers get to it. Luckman, they each had ratings over 100, but Luckman was better, 19-28, 345 yards, threw 4 touchdowns, wasn't sacked at all, kept a clean uniform. Brown, 29 carries, 156 yards, no carries more than 17, and he scored twice. Graham was the leading catcher, 8 for 135, Ditka, 6 for 111. Sayers had a pretty good average on kick returns, 3 for 161 for 53.7. Dixon made 12 tackles for Cleveland, but it's Chicago going to the pay window with that 40-34 win. They now move up to 4-1 on the season with Detroit and Minnesota yet to play. Cleveland will fall to 3-2. Your next stop, which will be tomorrow, is going to be San Francisco, Kansas City, and that will be another really big game. Well, I hope you enjoyed how that ended. That was, you never know what's going to happen in an HTFL game, just like you never know what's going to happen in the NFL. And my camera needs to be moved over. There we go. So I'll just do that now, right in front of you. So look forward to us being back tomorrow, or me, for San Francisco, Kansas City, Lord willing, and if the creek doesn't rise. This has been Big Polly coming to you, wishing you well. Godspeed and God bless. Myself and Ella wish you a heartfelt good night.